What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. It's Monday. It's hot than a monkey mofo around here down in these parts. I hope for all the fathers out there that yesterday was a lovely day for y'all. But hope all the fathers, all the real dads were made to feel special yesterday. It's Monday. Like I said, we over here to review and recap this last episode of Never Ever Met. Is season 2. It's episode 10. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you'll know I'm here running my mouth. And if you enjoy yourself, share with your people so y'all can chat about what I was chatting about. We can get down in the chat and it'll be a whole conversation. Anyway, we're gonna start this episode with Jay and Cinco. Jay seems to revel in the fact that none of the couples are leaving together. And I'm like, that's whack. Like, that's not the premise of this show. You and Cinco are like, why, we did it, we won. There was no prize, there's nothing to win. And I feel like if you're a real one, you'll be happy to see people move along happily in their relationships. There's no, I guess when you sit back and do your pillow talking and you talk about like how these people are not meant to be together, because there was a lot going on over there, so I understand it. But I mean, it's just not a good look for y'all to be over here reveling in the fact that people were going home sad. Nobody was happy except maybe Jared. He came over here, he conquered, he's going home to do the things that he does over there in Carolina. Be careful over there, girls, on that Carolina coast. It's a wild one on the loose. Jay has a very competitive spirit, and it's not just amongst the people in the house. It's over here with this man that she's laid all up on because they did such a great job. But I feel like once they put a little more effort into this relationship, Cinco gonna see how this lady wants to compete over everything. She gonna have to compete over toothpaste, toast, geez, oh Pete, the garage, everything with this girl is gonna be a competition. That's all I'm saying. So we'll see how that works out for you, Jay. Um, they brag about, being the best couple, but honestly, they didn't give us a whole lot to talk about. Like, if you really go back, I know through my reviews personally, it's a real quick. Like, I'm giving them a little extra right now that they don't necessarily deserve because they brought nothing for us to talk about. We know, as far as Cinco and Jay are concerned, that she had slept with two niggas in the same night. I'm not judging, girl, but she was calling somebody promiscuous. And we know Jay can make a hell of a sandwich. Now, we get down over here um, at the Last Supper because, the couples are leaving. Of course, they got to sit down and discuss, their experience in this house for the last 3 weeks. To Jay, the question is, what are you gonna miss most about being here? And Jay says she's gonna miss sleeping next to somebody. And I get that, like, she gonna miss a snuggle bug child. And he's a cute one. And she's a tall girl, and she found a tall man that can make her feel, in her, what do they say, in her soft space? She knows she could throw down, so that man is gonna be missing them sandwiches. But aside from that, we're gonna have to see what's going on, with Jay and Cinco next week over to the reunion. They a fake it till you make it type couple now. They might keep on doing it and keep on doing it. Tyranda comes through. She asking the couple few questions. They like, we good. We knew we was gonna make it to the end. Like this is what we came to do. It feels like, unfortunately, Jay's cockiness is rubbing off on Cinco. I guess I won't say rubbing off. I'm gonna say exposing his cockiness. They leave together. No conversation needed. They're absolutely perfect. They knew they were gonna win, and so there's no need for them to have any type of extra conversation. As far as online relationships go, if these two are for real, that's lovely. As far as being on a TV show, you'd offer that's pretty much nothing except for, some entertainment as far as hosting the mess, stirring the mess, and making a hell of a good sandwich. Chris is gonna miss him. The nerve of him. So let's get into Chris and Lex. So, Chris and Alexa, I feel like most of their interactions throughout this season has been with other people and not with each other. When they get together, he's talking about like how she's wore him the hell out and, he's stressed out and trying to get away. He needs a break from her, and that's all we've seen. Last day we seen this pretend romance that they've, put together for us for whatever reason. At the Last Supper, Alexis, tells everyone that her and Chris are the only ones who haven't gone to the boom boom room. She said, but we're going tonight. And then Chris mumbles under his breath, I'm not trying to go to that mother mofo. That's weird. I mean, you've had this online relationship with someone for a year, allegedly, and smashing, I mean, it may or may not be on the list. I guess if she's so willing, I'm not understanding why you're not. Are you not afraid of getting your heart broken? You're just pushing this lady away. I don't know what you think you're making yourself look like, but you're making yourself look a fool. Because it's much easier to just say, I don't think I'm feeling her. It's going to hurt her feelings. But being made a fool of, oh my goodness, I'm having secondhand embarrassment. It's just disrespectful. Now you got Jared and Brandon over on the other side of the table laughing, and this lady feeling foolish. Well, for what? For what? You could have said nothing. You could have went to the boom boom room, to be honest. Like, I mean, what is so scary? Is it that you're trying to make sure that none of your people think, that you actually went in there and was intimate with this lady? If that's how you feel, then you don't belong here. And if you thought you were coming over here to, make yourself into an actor, I guess you're a bad actor. If that's the case, you're a very bad actor. Now she over here questioning whether or not, I don't even know if like he can handle it. I'm questioning he can handle it. He can handle it. I think he doesn't want it. And I think you just as delusional as Charlie. While you over there full of advice for her, you must identify with her at least a little bit. Because the delusion is embarrassing, Alexi. She talking about she's questioning whether she want to give it to him or not. I mean, it's about damn time. And it's a lie because it seems like even after saying that, you still trying to make sure you give it to him. Should have been questioning from day one. When you found out this nigga didn't know how many sides it's on the stop sign, you should have been like, couldn't close your eyes and figure it out. I'm just saying. And to be honest, as far as relationships go, I haven't seen Alexis pursue anything outside of the D. I haven't seen her pursue or we haven't seen any type of engagement with these two. That's why I'm so kerfuffled by all this trials and tribulations that this man's has been going on. We ain't seen it. We down at the Last Supper, and they tell Tyranda that they're grateful for the experience in spite of all the trials and tribulations. 3 weeks. Can you imagine how much trials and tribulations you can go through in 3 weeks with this person that you've been talking to a year? It's just should have been time to catch up and chill with a friend. If it ain't a thing, it's not a thing. But we out here in LA. Let's hang out. They can't leave the house, I'm supposing. Next week during the reunion. Since we got a reunion, I'm gonna put in my 2 cents of what I think should happen if they get in another season. They might. Some people made enough noise over here. But I feel like once they do all this crazy stuff, then it seems to be, how about if y'all get a season 3, we just get something regular, like real people who, want to meet each other. This man had trials and tribulations and ups and downs and roller coasters and where they at? The only trials and tribulations we've seen as far as Chris is concerned is whether or not he was going to be able to spell whatever the lady Tyranda asked him to write down on the board. Hope we don't have to spell nothing. It's the last night, and Alexis is like, I mean, we were supposed to go to the boom boom room, but I don't think you really feel like you want to go over there. And I'm like, girl, he ain't felt like going over there. It's 3 weeks. It's 3 weeks. I will be damn if I go somewhere to meet some man that I've been having this exchange with online for a year. We get to the place, and in 3 weeks we haven't had any type of intimacy, then that means he's my homie, and he could go back to the internet where he came from. And I probably will get home and not really find too much time to entertain that with. Not if I'm looking for a man. If I came over here, this is online dating. That's what this is, online dating. And Alexis, if the man, trade you in for a new model, aka Maya allegedly, I'm questioning Maya too now if he was over here saying this was your man. Did you know he couldn't spell? Child, LeBron is somewhere crying. And if you know, you know. And I don't mean crying like crying. I mean crying like somewhere tipping back tequila, laughing his ass off. That kind of crying. He's talking about he's still unsure. What is there to be unsure about? If you're unsure today, why would I think you wouldn't be unsure tomorrow? Like we've had all this time. Like I feel like unsure should be recognized at about day 3. At about day 3, if you're not sure you want to keep going and spending some time, week 1 was good. Let's see what happened week 2. And then to be honest, people in a house with nothing to do by week 2, you're gonna be getting on each other's nerves a little bit. I'm just saying, like I would like to leave your space. Or the girls should like have some days out together and we're gonna have to like go over like reproducing this situation in a way that makes more sense to actual people. Alexa says she's preparing for a no, and I'm like, preparing for a no? Why would you be preparing for a no? You should be preparing to tell this nigga no. No, no, thank you. In the words of Jared, F no. That kind of no. No. You letting him, still, it's the last night. Everybody got a lot of stuff to think about. No, they don't. Half these people know they're not going. Some of you delusional people think that there's still a chance all the way down to the last minute. Get out of here. I'm packing my bags. We ain't figured it out by the Last Supper, then it is what it is. See you, bye. She over here still waiting for the drum roll. Well, when this man Chris finally got off his roller coaster going up and down, I feel like he's leaning towards liking this lady. They're sitting there talking. They're looking off of, this view of this building and wherever the hell they standing. And Alexis is letting him know, like, she understands that her aggression is somehow triggers him, and she's willing to be more aware of how his triggers work and, how he reacts to her aggression or aggressive behavior. I ain't seen her be aggressive. This is what she said. This is the behavior she said that she exercises. Maybe she was behind the scenes being all aggressive and controlling. She did take the man's laundry. He doesn't want her to wash his clothes. So, check that off the box. Heard and word, brother. Do your own laundry. Anyway, I don't hear him adjusting for anything, but I ain't hear her ask him to. She just wants the D. Her standards are not very high. She don't care if you can spell. She don't care if you know your ass from your elbow. She just wants the D. At the end of the day, they had this very romantic kiss over the balcony of wherever the hell they were standing. They pick up their luggage and they leave together. It was beautiful. Chris is going to go back to Dallas. Alexis is going back to Philly. And next week, these people will come to us and explain why they are no longer pursuing this fake relationship. That's it. That's all. Kiki and Brandon. So Brandon and Kiki have a date at Dave and Buster's. Kiki is the one that set this date up. She said she brought him here because he was moping and crying and acting like a big kid. And I'm wondering, Miss Kiki, what exactly was he supposed to do with those feelings since you dumped on him that he just found out that he'd been a side dude for 4 years because your ass is a liar. And because he needs a little, couple few hours to process these feelings, you want to call him a moping baby, big kid. But you're the one that sucks your thumb, girl. She asked him, they have a sit down after they play all the games. She took him to Dave and Buster's, and I'm like, He's from Alabama, but I feel like they probably got Dave and Buster's. You're in LA. Like, why wouldn't you do some LA thing that you don't have? Like, don't go to like chain places like Dave and Buster's and Red Lobster and stuff. Go over there and do some stuff that you don't have where you live. Everybody got Dave and Buster's, girl. He passed in the stadiums and things. He was like, this stuff would have been cool. I agree with him. You could have went and had a hot dog at the stadium or something and go get to see that. You want to take him to Dave and Buster's. He know what Dave and Buster's look like. Y'all gonna play pin the head and roll the ball and stuff. We come on. Anyway. She asked him if he's having fun, and he's like, yeah, he's having fun. But in the back of my mind, I'm still thinking about your ex. Well, don't put it in the back of your mind. Bring it back to the front, Brandon, because that's what should be on your mind. While you're looking at Kiki and she's smiling and you're having a good time, using that voice and things, don't fall for it. They have a little reminisce about where they started, but these 3 weeks have been miserable for both of them from day one. So, I mean, we haven't really, as much as this dude Chris is over here saying trials and tribulations, I feel like y'all were definitely trials and tribulations every time we seen y'all. And then when we seen y'all smiling and being close to one another, we were like, huh, when did they start doing that? Because Kiki over here manipulating the situation. She asked him what was the best thing about this experience, and he said, meeting you. And I thought that was an honest answer. He said, when I met you in the beginning, I thought you could be my future, but now I have trust issues. Kiki. He said, when we go back home, I'm going to go to Alabama and you're going to go to Atlanta. And how do I know you're not going to be still dealing with the ex? You don't know. And she probably will. It's only been 4 months. So let's don't act like Kiki's done. Because Kiki be flipping and flopping and flopping and flipping faster than you could blink your damn eye. It's the last day. All the couples are, picking their spot to go have their conversations. So Jay is over in the kitchen cooking her man some eggs, and Brandon sees no reason to prolong this last conversation. She's sitting around. It's the last day. I'm still just having butterflies about where, what's going to happen. I don't know why. Why do you have butterflies? Girl, you did what you meant to do. You meant to save that piece of tea all the way to the end so you can enjoy your vacation. You didn't want to go home. You wanted to go lay up in that house for a check. I'm not mad at it, but it doesn't make you not a shitty person because it kind of seems like you are. Selfish, just very selfish. You don't be thinking about nobody except Kiki for what we've seen over here as it relates to Brandon. Brandon said, when you stood him up all 4 of those times, he thought it was because of your insecurities, not because you were, over here dealing with another man. And I get that. And it comes up, elephant in the room. Plus size women get picked on by, average size people, small people, the world. This society looks down on people that are overweight, makes them feel we all have insecurities, but everybody knows that being overweight sometimes comes with a lot of insecurity. My dad's sisters were all plus size women like Kiki size, and I'm sure they had their insecurities. There wasn't no shortage of men over there, so I didn't see it. Everybody, all the sisters had husbands and boyfriends. All of them were married, you know what I'm saying? And the ones that weren't married, they, weren't single necessarily. So, this behavior that Kiki has is very selfish, where she doesn't care about anyone besides herself. And I feel like she uses her weight as, just like that other lady, Alexa, she uses her weight as a tool to manipulate people. So when she tells Brandon, I'm insecure because I'm a bigger girl, he has no choice but to accept that, because if he doesn't, then he's gonna be looked at a certain way, and she knows that. She knows that if she uses that as an excuse, and I'm not saying that she doesn't have insecurities. I think both things can exist in the same space. I think she uses it to her advantage. And people tend to, because she uses that voice and she's so cute, people tend to just, oh, Kiki, Even her friend, Kiki, you know you should tell that man, but it's always to be careful for Kiki's feelings, or else she's gonna be mad, you know. I ain't seen her crash out, but she does whine a lot. Go take a nap. When Kiki came over here, very first episode, she said they attempted to meet several times, but she backed out. And she said it was because of her, because she carries insecurities about being a bigger girl. So she clearly told him that. He didn't just grab that from out of nowhere. And although that's a valid reason, it's a lie. You didn't tell that man because you got one. You got a man, you can't tell the new man because you got a man. So you go to what you know is gonna work. Brandon was like, I mean, it was nice meeting you and all, but I think we need to go our separate ways. And Kiki follows up. Kiki refuses to see what she does is wrong. She's calling this man a child and a baby because he's moping around. Now she follows up what he had to say with, honestly, she should have known when she told him that it could go either way. Dead hard stop. All of this extra stuff she coming up with, she followed up with, I came in the house and I was disappointed because we were walking, you had me walking on eggshells about the drinking, and you're very moody. Girl, shut up. Get your bags. And you talk about he's moody and you were disappointed, but over there at the Last Supper, you were telling Tyronda, like, oh my God, it was so much fun. If you asked me to do it 10 more times, I'd come do it again. Walking on eggshells, that's what you want? You want to come over here and keep walking on eggshells? Because walking on eggshells seems stressful, Kiki. Brandon was looking at her like, what the hell? He went over there and picked up his luggage and he walked out that door. He said, you're on your own. We're not together anymore. Carry your own shit. And she dragged her luggage out and she finally managed to get it to the car. And I mean, they was looking. Ain't nobody else help her either. That's her problem. Kiki want people to do things for her. Well, not that day. She had to carry that luggage to her own car. Brandon packed the car and she's like, no hug. And he said, adios. Adios, Kiki. No hug. So who's left in the house? Jared and Charlie. So Charlie and Jared have their last date. It's a picnic on the mountain. And they ponder their relationship. And Jared tells Charlie, like, through it all, he feels like she's his best friend. And she hates that. She's disappointed. She does not want to be his best friend. She says he didn't friend zone me. I didn't want to be friend zoned. And Charlie's like to Jared, I know you see me as your friend. You say I'm your best friend, but how do you really see me? Friend. Same friend you were when we were talking before we came over here. She said, if you say you love me enough to tell me what's going on. Like, girl, he'd keep on telling you what's going on. He repeatedly telling you what's going on. You just won't hear it. You won't listen to it and then he says what you want to hear. And you're like, I'm so confused. Like, he's telling you what's real. You don't want to hear it. He says what you want to hear, and you're mad when he's not following through. Charlie is concerned that Jared is making her look stupid, and I'm like, girl, you doing a great job of making yourself look stupid. You left your 1-month-old baby fresh out of the womb to come over here and chase after this man that you don't know. That's stupid. You're hiding the fact that you have 2 children because you don't like the way it makes you look. And then you expect the man to come over here with the same mindset that he had when you have 1 child. Realistically, that's 7 children. Nobody trying to do that. I don't want to say nobody is trying to do that, but nobody is trying to get that sprung on them. So, what does it look like? Like, he comes to stay with you in the house with all your kids and leave his kid behind? And you're saying, I make enough money. I have my own things. I don't need him to raise my children. Then what does a partnership look like to you, girl? Because I feel like if you've got all these children, not that you need to bring a man in their life, but if you choose to, you will hope that they would want to raise your children as their own in a loving environment. They're not infinity stones. Making you look stupid, girl. Tattooing a stranger's name on your body. Why you got his name tattooed on you? Because you know nothing about him. And why are you buying him an Xbox? For he can play with it with his girlfriend, probably the other baby mother. Now, he didn't mention her. He said his mother of his son is very well established. So then there's a daughter that he just had. Child, you're a liar and he's also a liar. So you believing in a liar who lies, girl, that's very stupid. You don't need Gerard. What's his name? Jared. You don't need Jared to make you look stupid. You're doing a good job on your own. And you still acting stupid. You asking the man, tell me what, how do you see this? What's in your head? So, because you refuse to listen, because you determined not to be friend zoned, even though this man says best friend, best friend, best friend, best friend, Jared says no and yes are the same thing to him. He said, if I say yes, which I'm not, but since this girl won't take any other answer, I'm going to go ahead and say, if I say yes, we would travel back and forth and get to see each other. And I'll look for a job over there. Not really, but okay. I'll look for a job over there. But my mother of my son is well established in Carolina and probably won't be leaving anytime soon. So I don't see how I'm really going to be able to do that. Now, if I say no, if you will allow me to travel back and forth, we see what happens and we just be best friends. In each scenario, I'm going to travel back and forth and we could smash and things. And if you don't want that, well, then no, we're not moving. It is what it is. You're just going to be my best friend, whether you want to or not. She gets upset. She wants him to stop friend zoning. I don't want to be friend zoned. She's over in the corner crying. She had to take a walk away. Now he feels bad, allegedly, for making her cry. So now he says, okay, we're not best friends, we're soulmates. Now she's like, oh my God, you never said that before. Now I'm so confused. Girl, I don't know what the confusion is for her. Besides maybe, you thought you was doing your big one when you was running around you and Brittany talking behind people's back about their relationship. Now here you are, dumbfounded on the side of a mountain with the man looking at you with a sappy face. She had a conversation with Lex, and Lex was like, you said he's checking all of your boxes. What is he checking? And she was like, no man has ever treated me this way. No man has ever treated her the way Jared is treating her. Maybe she's just so used to being treated like shit that she thinks that his bare minimum is making her feel some type of way. And it's making us feel some type of way. That's what it seems like. You said when I was laying in bed sad all day, he came to check on me. He brought me breakfast. Okay. Things people do for their best friend. I don't know. This doesn't say anything about what is in the rest of your boxes. Please don't say children. Check that box off. Knock that box off the list. Whatever we're doing moving forward, there won't be involving any more children. And your real question should be, girl, what would make you leave your children behind, especially one that just born, to go over here and do what with this man that's the love of your life? Except he's not really, because you don't actually know him. She can't even articulate why she likes this man, besides his D is phenomenal. But before she even got the D, she was sending Xboxes and tattooing his initials on her body. They've been lying to each other for 4 years. Now you want the truth to be the what? He said he was going to tell the truth. Jared doesn't tell the truth. Jared tells tales, and you could fall into it or not. He just says things just for the sake of saying things. They have this one final game. It's a yes or no game. And the question is, do you believe in monogamy? Jared says no. Now I've got so much more to think about. What is you thinking? I would love to know what your thoughts are. What are you thinking? Should I what? Because he gave you the options. So you're going to take option A and let him smash occasionally if he comes into town, or B, you can let him smash occasionally if he comes into town. Those are your options. I'm not sure what you did. You got to decide between A and B. And over Jared seems like he's just saying shit now just to be entertaining. She said he was over in the room saying he's sorry for saying that and then kissing her on the forehead. At this point, I wouldn't be even in the room. I would be sleeping outside on the lovely patio or something so I can undo whatever it is I've been over here doing before I go home. Jared wants to play the draw you in and play games with your head game. And I don't even know why it works because it's not good. Jared, you preying on girls that aren't that bright. On the last day, Charlie is pondering a decision that's already been made. Girl, I feel like I'm tired of these conversations between these two. I don't need any more. I'm tired of it. Jared's tired of it. The only one that ain't tired is Charlie because she wants to keep having it until she hears what she wants to hear. She carrying on about how he wasted her time. He denied. He told you from the gate when this season first started. Charlie said, first of all, she slid into his DMs. So he didn't even come after you. You went to high school with this man. He heard about your reputation because clearly it's right there in front of us. They've been talking for 4 years and out of the blue, I don't know what their regular communication schedule was, but it became less and less. And her womanly tuition hit, and she just went out and said, F this. I'm just going to do what I want. So she had sex with a guy and she ended up pregnant. To me, this sounds like a lie. It sounds like, a lie, Charlie. I don't believe you because I know you be lying. I think you was over here messing with this dude. You got pregnant and he bounced like they do, like they often do. So now you got, how many times has this happened? Because we haven't heard any stories about, any of the fathers. Really, we just know they are no longer in the picture. She's not ever said like my kids have a great relationship. We haven't heard any of that. She told this man that she had to have hernia surgery, but she was actually having a baby. And you over here talking about somebody was supposed to be truthful with you. She got a 12-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 1-month-old. Seems like you have a lot to do, girl. Go home and handle that. Where's those kids at? We seen grandma with the baby. You dropped 4 kids on grandma, and I'm guessing that 12-year-old probably has a lot of responsibilities since her mama's not there. She said she'd been honest from the start. The start of what? The start of when we got in this house? The start of the second day of the house? I don't even know why you're saying that. I've been honest from the start. Well, I mean, yeah, after I told him, girl, liars lie, and I don't believe that's the only lie. I would love to know about how you was really messing with that baby daddy until you got pregnant and, or did you get pregnant? Did the man sell you a best friend story and so you figured you'll get pregnant to keep him around? That didn't work? Jared lives in South Carolina, so you could say whatever to him. Next week we have a reunion. They obviously left in separate cars, child. Jared said no. And next week at the reunion, it looked like Jared is still playing, trying to get this lady to give him some time, or at least see if he could get her to do it. I feel like at this point, it's not even about getting the crack. It's about seeing if she could get her to let him crack. Y'all like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I see you when I see you. Bye, y'all.